Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom review. As you can see by this smile, yeah, it's there because I'm happy. Guess what? It's another episode of ReZero. This is my review on episode 22 of ReZero. And this episode, while it may have not had the crazy action, I did enjoy a lot of aspects that happened in this episode. Though, there was one disappointing thing that I was kind of disappointed with, and that was pretty much like I said, it wasn't an epic fight. I expected a little bit more out of Beetlejuice, to be honest. Wilhelm just like took him out like it was nothing. He just got cut in half and that was it. It was just a long dialogue with him talking about the gospel and stuff like that, and then he ends up dying. Honestly, I was expecting a little bit more fighting with the witches called like something. I guess I'm just kind of spoiled from after watching the craziness that we did just see with the whale, the white whale kind of fight. So kind of a little spoiled there, but still, it was still awesome to see what happened in this episode. The beginning part, I am loving, Subaru's his maturity more and more, his him developing as a better character more and more. We're seeing that like at the end of the last episode. I was like, I'm still happy that it's still there. He still doesn't like Julius, and pretty much in this episode, you can see at the beginning he does apologize and stuff to him, and Julius apologizes to him as well. But you do see that at least I do like this, that he's like, oh, thank you for, he's grateful for him and the rest of the guys coming to help, and he apologized for what he did, because yeah, it was wrong. He was being he was being stupid. He admitted what was wrong. Julius also apologized to him for belittling him as well. But I do like the fact that, Subaru does end up saying, I apologize. I'm grateful for you coming. But guess what? I still hate your guts. I still hate you from the bottom of my heart. That's how it is. And Julius is also like full on like, oh yeah, I have no intention of, befriending you as well. And they like make a smirk, kind of laughing a bunch of times throughout the episode as well. So you do see that at least there's that, it's human. That's just how you are as a human. There's no way you're gonna instantly be like, yeah, you know what, we're all good, we're good friends. Yeah, I still like the fact that even though he admits his, like we've seen before, he admits his weaknesses, he admits the things that he's done wrong, he finally apologizes. The whole factor that we see in this episode of him being Pride, it's a different change, honestly, because that's another big thing that happened in this episode. It was the whole thing with Beetlejuice calling him Pride, one of his fingers calling him Pride as well, and that's a factor. That's a thing I've said in like way back before when they talked about it, when he called him Pride. I was like, wait a minute. And he even said in this one that the Sin Archbishop of Pride, there has been none. There is none right now at this moment. So it would make sense for it to be Subaru, considering, Pride. It is all about his pride before he, of course, has matured over it. But it doesn't mean he's not prideful still yet. And the fact that, obviously, they continuously say that he has a lot of love. To which now I understand that the whole thing with love is the fact they're talking about the love of Satella, the jealous witch. To which we do see that that's obviously why he emits this, strong odor or whatever of the witch. And obviously it's her love. And that's why Beetlejuice and one of his fingers, I'm not even sure who is the true Sin Archbishop of Sloth. Like, they even mentioned that it could be literally any of them. One of the fingers, or maybe one of those countless of the, regular witch cultists. So it's really confusing on that aspect as well. But overall, yeah, this episode was, first off, the beginning was pretty much, we do see, them organizing what they're going to do. They have a whole plan filled out and laid out. They're going to go and ambush them as they're not going to be expecting it. They have merchants to, this time, like the last time, he had merchants to come and save the villagers and save Emilia, but last time obviously the white whale stopped him. This time he's gonna be able to have the merchants come evacuate the villagers. They have a letter from Krush pretty much telling Emilia about everything going on here, so she'll know about the alliance and will trust them by leaving. And then of course then they'll be able to just fight off the remaining witch cultists without having the aspect of having to protect villagers or having to protect Emilia or anything like that. So that's a good, smart plan that they have. There's a bunch of comedy in this too, lightheartedness you see between all of the group and everything, especially Euless with him being like, oh, I'm not a knight right now because a knight can't be associated with being like a mercenary, so call me Yuli. And I'm just over here like, what the hell? Even in the part when he was like, oh yeah, and thanks to Julius and his group, we'll be able to do this. And he's like, oh, I have one disagreement kind of thing. My name is Yuli. Call me by that. And I'm just like, really? Come on. But it's definitely funny to see that, including, right before, obviously, the ambush that happened with the unseen hands, another of them coming from the other finger guy. Pretty much, they were all like, oh, breathe in, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. So I do like the comedy and lightheartedness that goes on in this episode, and definitely makes it more of Subaru kind of like, he's at the beginning, he's all like, let's get through this, none of us are gonna die. All of a sudden, like, oh, it looks like this is gonna be a lot easier, everything's all good. He let his guard down, and all of a sudden, boom, like it looked like there was 8 people that died from that one guy. So luckily, of course, Wilhelm gives this awesome speech, stand and fight, all that kind of stuff, get Subaru pumped and everything, and realizes, because Subaru was about to go into that depression state again with him pretty much, oh my gosh, I knew about the power, I knew about this, if I did this, if I did that kind of thing, he would have been doubting himself like over and over again like before. But luckily this time Wilhelm was there to push him forward and tell him about, tell him what he needed to hear kind of thing, and to stand and fight. That's why obviously I named the title of this episode Stand and Fight, because this episode literally is the moment for them to stand and fight. Now, while the fighting may not have been super crazy, it was mostly, like I said, the intro part, which I loved about, Yuli, goddammit, Euless, and of course, Subaru kind of, making up, not fully, obviously, as you saw right before the end, he went to go apologize some more, and obviously not have that hatred towards full-on hatred towards each other, but of course, that was there. Then the second part was, of course, the whole thing with Beetlejuice, the thing with the gospel, and pretty much every single person, if they show kind of, potential, then that person will end up being mailed or given gospel. And from that, every single witch cult has, cultist has a gospel, and you see that none of them wanted to touch it. They were like, oh my gosh, I don't want to, don't even face it towards me kind of thing. To which, of course, we do have him end up holding it. We have Subaru ending up keeping it and holding it, so that may be a big thing that happens in the future. We still may see that he is in fact the Sin Archbishop of Pride, to which he doesn't know that, obviously, but it would make sense considering why did the jealous witch bring him into this world? Why is she so enamored, so in love with him as they show it? And including, like, we've even seen moments where she's like, actually showing her like about to kiss him kind of thing during the white whale part. So like, why is all of this? Why, right? Because it would make sense that she thinks of him as one of the archbishops, the Sin Archbishops, this one of Pride. And maybe she has a full-on plan that we don't know of, that Subaru doesn't know of, that no one knows of using Subaru for some type of reasoning, to which we probably will not delve more into in this season. Probably not going to hear anything more about that kind of stuff in this season. Maybe a little bit more about him being Pride, but nothing delving like really deep into the witch cults kind of thing, because this is episode 22, there's 25 episodes, so there's 3 episodes left. So I can't wait to see everything that's going to happen in the next one, this episode, while having some, showing more development with Subaru's character, showing a little bit progress towards the story and killing off Beetlejuice, killing the potential of there being way more than one Sin Archbishop of Sloth, as you saw by the the 10 fingers, and the other guy having an unseen hand as well. To which also, during that fight, there was a spirit that came along, and he was super scared of it. I'm not too sure what that spirit has to do with anything. Who is that spirit? At first I thought maybe, like, I don't even know what I was thinking. Like, I was wondering, like, what spirit is this? Why is this spirit coming to help? Maybe it'll come and help again later on. I'm not too sure. That's got to be something. It's got to be some importance on why a random spirit would come and help. It was a random spirit, disappeared right after kind of thing. And then, of course, you do see that Wilhelm, he's pretty much the star of this episode in terms of action, seeing him first off dash in and slash Beetlejuice in half, and then of course, you know, him somehow seeing the unseen hands. Maybe he just senses it, feels it in the air kind of thing, and was slashed it, and then run up to the guy, shing, shing, and then of course there he was dead, because Wilhelm is just a plain beast. Like literally, from this whole, you know, white whale part to this episode, it just signifies and shows that he is a pure beast. He's wise, he's strong, and he's just a plain awesome character that honestly, I'm wondering, like, how long is he always going to be there kind of thing. He's so strong, he's so wise. I could definitely see somewhere in the future, if they end up killing kind of a main-ish character, that he can be a potential person to die, because it would affect Subaru, because it would affect everyone, because of him being like kind of, to Subaru, he's kind of that person that he can look up to kind of thing. He's strong, he's wise. He obviously, you saw in this episode, he was the person to pretty much get Subaru back up after him kind of diving a little bit more into that depression pool again. And overall, it just seems like I could definitely see that having a big impact on him if they do end up wanting to kill someone. But another big impact was the big ass cliffhanger. Like, what? Ram? Is she one of the, is she the Sin Archbishop of Sloth? One of them? Is that what it's going on here? All of a sudden you see him walking, the air turns cold, and he's by himself in this another, I don't know if it's another dimension or another world or something like that, but all of a sudden it's just all bluish kind of thing, and you see her with a white outfit on, so it's not a regular witch cult outfit. So I'm still kind of confused on that aspect, but she is there. She has some blue flower thing going on, and then it just cuts off there, and you know, it says a flash of sloth, and it's white and pink, the same colors that she was wearing. So I'm not too sure if they're implying that Ram is like one of the witch cultists, if she's actually the Sin Archbishop of Sloth or something. Because if she is, whoa, okay, I did not expect that at all. We have barely seen her and Amelia in these past episodes. This one we see her a little bit, and she kind of senses there's something wrong, obviously, and that's obviously what all this was. But it may be that she was actually sensing something with Ram. That's definitely a possibility. I'm wondering if we're going to see more of Amelia in the next episode. This episode obviously did not have Ram because she went back to the city to recuperate and rest. So I'm wondering if she's going to maybe all of a sudden, you know, after being, you know, better, she'll end up coming here as well. But obviously this is a big thing, her not being there. Obviously, like, I wonder if she was there, maybe Ram would explain more thoroughly and better, to which of course we don't know at all what Ram really is, because that was the ending of the episode, a huge cliffhanger. But it would make sense of her being like an enemy or something, because why would they just show at the end everyone disappears, he's by himself, and there's, you know, Ram over there with a white hood on with a blue flower of some sort. I don't know how that what that signifies. But after them talk about the possibility of there being more than one Sin Archbishop of Sloth, or we don't know who is the true Sin Archbishop of Sloth, you know. So overall, honestly, a pretty crazy episode. Really, and I honestly enjoyed it. I love seeing the character development that we have been seeing of Subaru. So I definitely enjoyed seeing what happened in this episode, seeing him mature and seeing him finally, you know, apologize to Ulysses, but also saying that he still hates his guts. And then, of course, seeing that he is still human, seeing that, you know, after the mistakes that happened, he was about to fall into depression. Luckily, Wilhelm was there with an epic-ass speech. And, of course, Wilhelm was also there to end up killing, you know, Beetlejuice, end up killing that other, one of the fingers of Beetlejuice, as they called him. And then, of course, figuring out more about the witch cults, you know, more about with this whole, what's it called, the gospel thing, and more about him being the potential Sin Archbishop of Pride, because that's definitely a big thing that probably after this season, if they have another season, I'm pretty sure hopefully they will have another season. They already have a game coming out. If you guys didn't heard, go check that out. It's a visual novel, and it's not out yet obviously, but it's announced, and there is going to be a Rem route. So all you Rem fans have been like, why is there no, how could you pick Amelia over Rem? Well, guess what? You can go play the visual novel when it comes out, and there's a Rem route. I will definitely go and play that. I'm definitely going for Rem, the best girl, obviously, in the show right now. But yeah, overall, pretty good episode. Like I said, good, crazy, another crazy cliffhanger. ReZero and their damn crazy cliffhangers. They always seem to have these cliffhangers that leave us like, oh my gosh, there was a good episode, and then you leave us with this? Are you kidding me? I cannot wait for the next week's episode already, which will be episode 23. There's only 3 more episodes left of the season, so I cannot wait to see how everything will conclude. Everything will go crazy. Hopefully not such a huge cliffhanger at the very end of the season. I could definitely see it happening where we're all like, no kind of thing. But I honestly can't wait to see how this arc is going to end overall. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. So if you enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. If you have your own opinions on how you thought about what you thought about this episode, what you think about all the things that I did bring up, or anything, your own thoughts, feel free to comment below. It's always awesome to see how you guys think as well. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. So hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, and if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. It really does help the channel. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. So till next time, see ya.